that is exiting Air Force One right now. He's coming down the steps. And
Ken Salazar.
Ken Salazar flew on the plane with him from the Washington, D.C. area and is accompanying him on this trip. This is described by many as more big government, and usually business is not too crazy about big government. Greg, I was wondering how this is playing with a lot of businesses in Colorado.
Well, I think it depends on who you talk to and which sectors you talk to. The renewable energy sector says, look, without this stimulus plan, in fact, the gentleman who runs the company that installed the solar panels on top of the Museum of Nature and Science has been very clear that if the stimulus bill had not passed, he was gearing up to lay off about half of his workforce. Now that's due to some of the provisions that are in the stimulus package, he's looking to perhaps increase his workforce by 20%. If you talk to small business owners in particular, which I've had a chance to talk to, there's a lot of debate and a lot of criticism that perhaps there's not enough being done to fuel that small engine of the small business community, which really employs a lot of people in our state and around the country as well. But you know, you'll hear on the flip side the people who really support this thing and say there is a lot missing from this bill. We couldn't get a lot of what we wanted to in it, and we'll just have to kind of make sure we play this thing out. Not hearing a lot, at least from the critics today, from some of the Republican folks that I have had a chance to talk to by phone, at least anyway, talking about the pork projects that are in here. They're kind of toning that down just a little bit. But again, I think people are going to have to wait and see, and I think you're going to hear a lot of comments from the president today that this is not a magic pill. It is going to take a lot more time to implement, and you're going to have to, be patient and wait. And I think that's what he's going to ask people to do anyway. Another big portion of what we're going to hear about this economic stimulus, not necessarily from this bill, but tomorrow, as you mentioned, he's not spending a whole lot of time here in Denver. Wheels up, heading down to Phoenix, Arizona, later this afternoon, where he is expected to talk tomorrow and address the media about using about $50 billion that's left of the TARP money, the financial rescue package, to help address some of the foreclosure problems still going on around the country and continue to stabilize some of the housing market. So again, a time will tell from a lot of people's perspective as far as the success of this package.
We were just watching the president as he exited Air Force One, being greeted by local dignitaries, including the governor. Governor Ritter was out there.
And then his son, August, right next to him as well.
Right.
Michael Bennett, Diana DeGette, Ed Perlmutter, and the Mayor Hickenlooper, who earlier today told us he was really excited to go out there and greet a president. He's never done that before. President Bush came here a couple times, but he was never invited, he said, to go out there and welcome the president to the city. So this was a big deal for our mayor to go out there again today.
And the governor thinks it's really going to be a big deal for Colorado in that it sets a certain tone and a certain image as Colorado as a leader in what Barack Obama has been talking about, especially when it comes to green technology.
It certainly doesn't hurt to have your state singled out to sign one of the largest stimulus bills in the history of this country. And again, the big focus of this on green energy, and of course Governor Ritter has been pushing that for some time. We've been hearing some comments from some other governors around the country who were perhaps a little bit jealous that it wasn't signed in their state because they feel they have a renewable energy program that's worth talking about as well. But it positions us extremely well in the future, and I think that's why you're hearing the industry here today in force. That's why the coalition is so well represented, talking about the benefits and the extra jobs that they are very confident will be coming here in the future.
The president and vice president now kind of working the rope line out there, saying hi to some of the people that have been invited out to greet him to the Denver area. And as you can see, the gaggle of media, there's going to be a lot of media today.
Yeah, there is, and Congressman Perlmutter and most of the delegation, from what I understand, I was talking to some of their advanced folks, they will be in the motorcade traveling with the president. The mayor is as well, and of course Governor Ritter too. And just a little bit of trivia. Did you say August was in there? August Ritter was? Well, from what I understand, the desk that will actually, where the signing of the bill will take place, came from his room at the governor's mansion. So that was borrowed. You'll get it back later today.
There you go. Okay.
There you go. We might want to talk.
Right,
I'm looking at a monitor here, so the president obviously behind schedule already about 5 or 10 minutes. So we would expect his arrival here at about 12:10 or 12:15, and it looks like he may be heading out right now.
And Greg, wasn't everyone who was supposed to be there with a ticket supposed to be there by 11 o'clock at the latest? So everyone that's going to get in has already been inside.
Yeah, everything has been sweeped, and most of those folks were lined up here about 9:30, quarter till 10, and it took about an hour, hour and a half to go through the entire sweep process. But it's a tight space. 250 community leaders were invited to attend. I'm sure a lot more wanted to, and it's a very hand-picked crowd, as I mentioned to you. They were very careful, the advanced teams, talking about the different kind of groups that they want represented. I think we're looking at a shot now close to the stage. Most of those folks up on the left on those risers represent specific not-for-profit community groups, from what we understand, that were very supportive of President Obama and his election bid. And you'll see some the Native American group, American Indian groups represented. And again, most people are trying to grab their seats as quickly as possible because this show will get underway here in not too far from now.
Greg, we saw right after the president was descending the steps of Air Force One, Ken Salazar was right behind him. And from what I understand, the Secretary of the Interior will welcome the crowd and start everything off once the program does begin.
That's what we're understanding as well. Very quick, brief remarks. Then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. And then the CEO of Namaste, the solar energy company based here in Colorado, which installed the panels up on the roof here at the Museum of Nature and Science, will officially